All right, it should start up. All right. Um, Shalom. First and foremost, before I begin this live stream, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, and double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule very well. That's continually feeding us with this knowledge and this truth through the spirit and power of Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai. And much love and salutations to the hopeful elect that's also doing this work in all faith, truth, and sincerity. Now, pretty much, man, this live stream is going to be centered around the Passover. All right. And basically how, you know, the Passover is a solemn feast. All right. It's a solemn ceremony in which, you got guys that's a part of these other Israelite camps that's think that the Passover is something to play with. All right. In which, the Passover is a very serious thing, man. All right. It's a very serious thing because, for one thing, during the Passover, you had certain events that happened, which I'm going to get in a little bit. You had certain events that happened, which was sprung forth the cause of seriousness. For instance, when we were coming out of the land of Egypt. All right, that's a very serious event, man. All right, now if you look at the day and what these other Israelite camps are doing, which in particular IUIC, you can clearly see that that Passover is it just basically partying and rapping and doing everything else under the sun, man. But when it boils down to it, the Passover, it was meant to be serious. All right, in which pretty soon, we're coming up into our deliverance. Okay, in which Yahushua is about to return to deliver the elect. Okay, and while I'm going to speak a little bit more while I try to get this screen set up for you, Akim. Yeah, like I said before, man, we're coming into the the next, should I say, deliverance, for lack of a better term, because the first one was in Egypt. All right. And now I'm gonna get that a little bit too, man. I'm gonna let the scriptures bring it out. But like I said before, man, it's these other guys that's a part of these other Israelite camps. They just have no clue, on the Passover. I mean, they may know the certain functions and the operations of the Passover, but they don't understand the meaning behind it. All right, because for one thing, they don't even have the name, man. Especially IUIC, man, they don't have the name. So who are you dedicating the Passover to if you don't know the name? All right, who are you giving reverence to when you sending up prayers during the Passover? All right, you can clearly see that that their Passover ceremony is not sincere. Okay, it's not sincere because they got on the flashy garments. They're having concerts. Rapping. Singing. In which and like I said before, man, the Passover is nothing to be played with, man. It's nothing to be played with, man. Because for one thing, there's a lot of things that happen during the Passover, man. People get killed before and after the Passover. During the whole Passover season, man, people get taken out, man. So it's a very serious, solemn assembly, man, like the scriptures say. Okay, but going on from there, man, I'm gonna go ahead and get this screen up and running for you, Akim. All right. Now, let's lock you. But the first scripture I want to get is Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 5. Okay. And it reads, "Thou mayest not sacrifice the Passover within any of thy gates, which the Lord thy power giveth thee, but at the place which Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai thy power shall choose to place his name in. There thou shalt sacrifice the Passover at even, at the going down of the sun, at the season that thou camest forth out of Egypt. So there's again, man, giving reference to Egypt. All right, which we're going to get in a little bit. And it says, verse 7, and thou shalt roast and eat it in the place which the Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, thy power shall choose, and thou shalt turn in the morning and go into thy tents. 6 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread, which that's the feast of unleavened bread, will start on the evening of the Passover. All right. It says, and on the 7th day shall be a solemn assembly. All right, solemn. I'm looking at that word solemn up in a second. It shall be a solemn assembly to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, thy power. Thou shalt do no work therein. All right. So there you go, man. It's supposed to be a solemn assembly, man. All right. The word solemn, which I'm about to get in a second. That word solemn, if you look it up, the Hebrew word is slaki. If you look it up, it's itazarah, right? Itazarah, which means what you got right here, got solemn assembly, and that's all it has on this one. But I got it up on Edom Online. If you look at the etymology of the word solemn, and I'm gonna get that after I look at the rest of this. In which case, it's only going to give you, assembly or solemn assembly or, assembly of people, right? Now, let me go back. Now, if you go to Edom Online, look up the word solemn, right? It says it's an adjective. It's from the mid-14th century. It says performed with due religious ceremony or reverence, all right? Which, that reverence, and, I'm trying not to jump the gun on this subject, but, this is a ceremony and also a reverence. Okay. Now it also says sacred, devoted to religious observances. All right. So it is an observance. All right. Made under religious sanction or binding. All right. Which in other words is, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai sanctioned the first month and the 14th day at evening, which is the 15th day, that's being the Passover. All right. So it's sanctioned by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. All right. Which also is binding. Okay. Which that goes into the covenant, which is given to Abraham and unto Isaac, unto Jacob. Okay. Now going on, it says annual, which annual means yearly, which if you go back to Deuteronomy 16, let's see. Yeah, so this is Deuteronomy 16, verse 16. It says, 3 times in a year shall all thy males appear before the Lord thy power in a place which he shall choose, in the feast of unleavened bread, which is the Passover, and in the feast of weeks, and the feast of tabernacles, and they shall not appear before the Lord empty. All right, so there you go. All right, that goes to annual. Okay, yearly. So it says established, religiously fixed, formal. All right, which again, formal. This is a formal observance, should I say? This is a formal high holy day. All right, this is very serious. Ceremonial, traditional. All right, it's our heritage. Okay. Now, if you go down to this part where this ends right here, it says meaning marked by seriousness or earnestness. Okay, fitted to inspire devout reflection. All right, there goes that reverence again. All right. So it says marked by seriousness or earnestness. So this is a very serious matter, man. This is a very serious high holy day. All right. And I'm about to show you in a little bit why it's serious. Okay. Because when it comes to the Passover, man, these other Israelite camps, they don't understand the whole purpose behind the Passover, in which I talked about earlier. Okay. They don't understand the gravity of the Passover. They don't understand what they're getting themselves into, man. Because for one thing, these guys aren't learned. They're not learned. They're not learning the scriptures. They don't understand what time it is. Okay. They don't understand what time it is because they're too busy being caught up in worldly things, man. So in other words, they're too busy trying to build up, big companies, or trying to make it in America, or anything of that nature, man. Because really, they have no faith. Okay, which now I'm gonna get one of the examples which I was talking about earlier, which when we're coming out of Egypt. And that's this Exodus chapter 12, verse 12. It says, "For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast. And against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And the blood shall be to you for a token upon the horses," which that blood, talking about the blood, which that's the blood of a lamb. And what they had to do is put that blood on the doorpost at their dwelling, wherever they lived. All right. Now it says, "And the blood shall be to you for a token upon the houses where ye are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you. And the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt." And see, before I go any further, I want to get this real quick. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 9. It says, "The thing that have been is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun." All right. Now going back here, it says, "I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you." All right, back in Exodus 12 and 13, it says, "When I smite the land of Egypt." Now, this place which we live in today is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. All right. And guess what's going to happen to this place which is spiritually called Egypt? It's going to get destroyed. All right. And like the scriptures say, the slain of the Lord shall be many. All right. See, even that's a mystery. All right. And, it's basic to us, but it's a mystery to the rest of these people, because they don't understand what really, people that, get into the Bible, they read about this event that happened in Egypt about the Passover. They don't understand what was really going on. All right. They don't understand that the Lord, Yahweh Shai, was actually the one doing damage. Okay. They don't understand that, man. They don't understand the significance of the blood. You might have some people that might know about it, but the rest are blinded to it. Just like IUIC, man, they're blind to that whole fact. All right. Now, it says, "And the blood shall be to you for a token," which that token, look at that words, means sign, "upon the houses where you are. And when I see the blood, all right, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt. And this day shall be unto you for a memorial." All right, memorial. Look at the word memorial, and actually let me get the word memorial. So it's Zakara 1, all right, which means a memorial, reminder, remembrance. All right. Isn't that one of the definitions of the word solemn, which we looked up earlier? Let's look up. It says, it was reverence, right? Fitted to inspire devout reflection. There we go. All right. And see, and man, you can clearly see this all ties in together, man. That's the beauty of this truth, man. Okay. That's the beauty of this truth, man. It all comes together, man. It just flows. It's like water, like the Apostle Gabar always pointed out, man. All right, it's like water, man. It keeps flowing. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna read this again. This is verse 14. Say, "And this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and ye shall keep it a feast to the Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshai throughout your generations. You shall keep it a feast by ordinance forever." Okay. Okay, yeah, so that's it on that. All right. I'm gonna go from there, and I'm gonna get the book of Matthew chapter 26, verse 19. Now keep this event in mind, where speaks about This verse right here. Now keep that verse in mind. I'm gonna go back to it in a second. Now this Matthew chapter 26, verse 19. This is another event. This is another Passover that went on, and which is highlighted in the scriptures. It's Matthew chapter 26, verse 19. It says, "And the disciples did as Yahushua, whom the world inwardly called Jesus, had appointed them, and they made ready the Passover. Now, when the even was come, he sat down with the 12. And as they did eat, he said, Verily, I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me." All right. It said, "One of you shall betray me." Now, that whole atmosphere, when that was said, man, you can just imagine the whole atmosphere when he said that. All right. They were all questioning each other. They were asking, is it me, Lord? You know, and the whole atmosphere changed when he said that, man. All right. So once again, man, the Passover is very serious, man. All right. In any event that the Passover went on, it was always been serious. Okay. Then you see another event right here when he blatantly said, he said, "One of you," there's other 12 was just sitting with him. He said, "One of you shall betray me." All right. And they were exceeding sorrowful. So were they in the upbeat spirit? Were they in the upbeat spirit? Were they, dancing and singing and, rapping and, having concerts, having dance offs, you know, were they doing any of that? No, they weren't. Back during the time when, back in the Exodus, man, when the children of Israel were about to come out of Egypt, were they singing? Were they celebrating? All right. The answer is no, they weren't. All right. Because during the time when that happened in the land of Egypt, you could also just see the whole atmosphere of what was going on, man. They were in fear when this happened, man. Same thing in this part when this Passover went on. They were also in fear. They were trying to figure out who was going to betray him. Okay, so there it is, man. During the time of the Passover, man, it's nothing to play with. All right, especially when it went on during the time of, when we was in the land of Egypt, man. There's at that point, they were in fear. They're trying to make sure that everything was on point, man. Because guess what, man? That death angel was going through taking out all the firstborn. All right. So and you can imagine, after this happened, after the firstborn were all put to death, you can imagine just hearing the commotion that went on after that happened, man. All right. So there you go, man. You just had to bear that in mind, man. Keep that in mind during the time of the Passover. Okay. Now going back to verse 22 in Matthew chapter 26, it reads, "And they were exceeding sorrowful, and began every one of them to say unto him, Lord, is it I?" All right, so they were asking, "Hey, is it me? Did I betray you? Am I going to betray you?" Verse 26, Slaki. "And he answered and said, He that dippeth his hand with me in the dish, the same shall betray me. The Son of Man goeth as it is written of him, but woe unto that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It had been good for that man if he had not been born." Right? I mean, I'm pretty sure he doesn't say it the way I say it, but you could just imagine just the weight of what he said. You could just imagine how he put it. He said he probably said, "Man, it would have been better if that man had not been even in this world." And he would have said it with force, man. He said, "Man, it'd been good that man not been born." And, you can just imagine it, man. All right. He's probably probably cursing or whatever going on. But you never know, man. You just have to paint that picture of what was really going on, man, because during that time, it was, like I said before, man, the Passover, it's nothing to be played with, man. Especially, and he was specifically talking about Judas in verse 25, like it says right here. All right. And then it said, "Then Judas," this verse 25 said, "Then Judas, which betrayed him, answered and said, Master, is it I? He said unto them, Thou hast said." In other words, he's saying, "Yeah, it's you." All right. In other words, he said, "Hey, you said it." In other words, like it's like him saying, "Oh, you got that right. Yeah, it is you. All right. Yeah, you said it. It came out of your mouth. So yeah, it's you. All right." So there it is again, man. Now I'm gonna go from there, and I'm gonna get a quick precept. Um, let's see. I believe Joachim. I already know what I'm looking for. It's like it's going back to Exodus chapter 12, verse 13, where it speaks about the blood being a token upon the houses, of which if you read about that, that blood actually is from a lamb. All right. Now, what's Yahushua known for? All right, being a sacrificial lamb. All right, he's known for being a sacrificial lamb, and really, you know, when he went on the cross, when he died for the sins of the sins of Israel, starting with the elect, he pretty much shed his blood for us, man. All right. Now that's why I read early in the Ecclesiastes about there's no new thing under the sun, is because guess what, man? He shed his blood for the sins of Israel, starting with the elect, right? And because of that, now the elect is back today in their lot to be delivered from the second death, right? Which is that nuclear fire, man. All right, which ultimately is gonna be administered by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. And guess what? Yahushua is gonna come with his own brand of fire. All right, so Yahushua is gonna play that role once again, being that death angel. All right. And see, that's, and once again, going back to what I was saying earlier, that's a mystery, because these guys don't understand who that death angel was. All right. Now, if you want to link that up, you can go to the book of Revelation, where it speaks about another angel coming down with a sickle to reap the harvest, because the harvest is right, man. Especially here in America, man. You can see exactly what's going on here in America. You can clearly see that the harvest is right. All right, the harvest is right, and it's time to reap that harvest, man. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, I believe it's Hebrews chapter 7. All right, while I look for, I'm gonna continue to speak on it. Yeah, like I said before, man. We're coming to the next deliverance, which I spoke about when I first started off. When I first started out the video, because once again, man, this may, or not once again, Salakia, this may be the last Passover that goes on, man. I mean, it's evident, man, because this guy, Trump, he's basically he hit the ground running when he came into office. All right, and that just lets you know, man, we're just inching up closer and closer to the destruction of this place, man. Which the Lord's going to return again to destroy this place and also deliver at the same time. Okay. It's like bear with me for just 1 second, Aki. Let's see, checking everybody in the chat. But yeah, man, and I'm pretty sure that Nate and his cohorts are going to be at it again with the Passover. Trying to make it the biggest Passover ever. And actually, you know what? Since I said that, I'm gonna grab a quick. Um, I'm gonna grab a quick precept, in which I'm just trying to remember the precept, because it speaks about a person that held a big Passover, and he was known for having the biggest Passovers, but at the end, that man died. Okay. Um, let's see. This this might be it. It's like, yeah, just give me time, Akim. Um, see, I'm trying to think. Oh, this is it. Yeah, Khan, this is it right here. This is Second Chronicles, chapter 35, and I'm gonna start at let's see. Start at a good spot. Yeah, I'm starting at verse 17. This is Second Chronicles chapter 35, verse 17. And it says, and the children of Israel that were present kept the Passover at that time and the feast of unleavened bread. All right. Now, this is talking about Josiah. All right. Now, if you go up a few verses up, I believe it explains even further about it. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah. So it's basically talking about Josiah, because Josiah uh, was known for holding big Passovers, man. All right. So I'm gonna read this again. It said, and the children of Israel that were present kept the Passover at that time and the feast of unleavened bread 7 days. And it says, and there was no Passover. All right. So they're letting you know. It said there was no Passover like to that kept in Israel from the days of Samuel the prophet. Neither did all the kings of Israel keep such a Passover as Josiah kept. All right. So let you know, man, this guy Josiah, he held the baddest Passover around, man. And so, and the priests and the Levites and all Judah and Israel that were present in the inhabitants of Jerusalem. All right. And in the 18th year of the reign of Josiah was this Passover kept. Okay, now I'm going down to verse 22. It says, nevertheless, Josiah would not turn his face from him, but disguise himself that he might fight with them, and hearken now to the words of Nicole from the mouth of the Most High. It came to fight in the valley of Megiddo. And the archers shot at King Josiah, and the king said to his servants, have me away, for I am sore wounded. His servants therefore looked him out of that chariot and put him in the second chariot that he had, and they brought him to Jerusalem, and he died and was buried in one of the sepulchres of his fathers, and all Judah and Jerusalem mourned for Josiah. All right, so he didn't listen to Nicole Slaki, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Nicole from the mouth of the Most High, which Nicole was a prophet, all right, and came to fight in the valley of Megiddo. All right. So there it is, man. Actually, Slakia. Slip of the tongue. Yeah, man. Nicole is actually king of Egypt. Yeah, man. Slakia. Yeah, man. I slipped at the tongue, man. I know there's a scripture where it says, man slip with his tongue, but not with his heart. So Nicole was king of Egypt and came up to fight against Carchemish by Euphrates, and Josiah went out against him. All right. In verse 21, it says, but he sent ambassadors to him, saying, what have I to do with thee, thou king of Judah? I come not against thee this day, but against the house wherewith I have war. For the Most High commanded me to make haste, forbear thee from meddling with the Most High, who was with me, that he destroy thee not. All right. So there it is right there, man. All right. So in other words, he sent ambassadors, telling them, he has nothing to do with them, man. All right. So once again, man, Salakia, I know I label him as a prophet, but really he's a king of Egypt. You know, had to go back up and read it. But actually give me some time. So that just goes to show you that that even a person, person holds the baddest Passover around, still, it doesn't mean anything, man. All right. It doesn't mean anything at all because for one thing, um that person, he may hold the baddest Passover, and you can name an example, which is Nate. He can have the biggest Passover, the greatest Passover around, but still, man, he doesn't have the name. All right. He doesn't have the name of Yahweh or Yahweh Shai. Okay. So therefore, even though he holds this big Passover, the Lord does not going to look at that, man. He's going to detest what he's doing. Yeah, actually, he's detesting it right now, man. Look at what's happening to his camp. Look what happened to IUIC, man. They're being exposed day in and day out. All right. I mean, and they really, really, to be honest with you, they're getting desperate, man. All right. Because I'm gonna let you Akim know, man. IUIC, y'all can may know this or not, but IUIC, man, they send our agents to our camps, Great Millstone, and just to search us out, man. All right. I mean, and I can personally say that actually happened on two accounts. All right. That happened on two accounts over where we are. And I know the other Akim knows that too. Okay. So really, they're really getting desperate and they're trying to find every means to continually throw our names into the dirt, into the mud. All right. To put us out there as evil men. Okay. But once again, man, this Passover might be the last Passover. So, with that Passover that they're gonna have, I already know what's gonna go on during that Passover ceremony. All right. Uh, but I know exactly what I'm looking for. There's the book of Hebrews, chapter 7. Let's see. All right, yes, Hebrews chapter 7, verse 26. It says, "For such a high priest became us, who's holy, harmless, undefiled, separate from sinners, and made higher than the heavens." All right. Slaki Akim. As let me start at verse 25. It says, "Wherefore he is able also to save them to the uttermost that come unto the Most High by him, seeing he ever liveth to make intercession for them." All right, because he's a mediator. Okay. Verse 26, it says, "For such a high priest became us, who was holy, harmless, undefiled, separate from sins, and made higher than the heavens," talking about Yahweh Shai. All right. It's verse 27, "Who needeth not daily as those high priests to offer up sacrifice first for his own sins." That's a mystery. I'm not even going to go into that. Not even going to go into that, man, because that's a whole nother topic in itself, man. That's a whole nother video. That's a whole nother live stream. All right. I just let y'all marinate on that. It says, "And then for the peoples," okay, for the peoples. In other words, he pretty much died for the elect ultimately. All right. Because guess what? The ones that delivered him up to the Romans were the 2/3 of Israel. His own people delivered him up, man. So really, he was for the elect, man. Which that's fair and that's fair in itself, man. That's fairness. That's righteous judgment. Because the elect is going to be the one to bring back the rest of Israel. All right. This is going to bring back the rest of the nation. Okay. It says, "For this he did once when he offered up himself." All right. That him being him offering up himself, that being made the sacrificial lamb. Okay. Now I actually want to get the law on that because yeah, there actually is a law that was kept in Israel to sacrifice to make a sacrifice for itself and his brethren, which that was Aaron that did that. If I can look it up real quick. Um, let's see. Let's see. Yeah, bear with me for 1 second, I can while I look for it. Yeah, because hey, this actually fulfills the law as well, man, when he did that. All right. I mean, you can look at it in that perspective because the law was fulfilled when he did that, man. All right. Now, didn't he make a statement saying that he didn't come to destroy the law of the prophets, but to fulfill? All right. So when he offered him up himself on the cross, yeah, he fulfilled the law by sacrificing himself for. Oh, I'm giving it away. I'm giving it away already, man. See, I'm jumping the gun, man. See, I mean, that's how the spirit works, though. But yeah, man, he offered up himself, man, for his own sins and for the sins of his brethren. All right. I try to, I mean, that's the spirit, man. That's how the spirit works. But that I pretty much just opened up a can of worms, and I know that's going to call for another video to explain that. Um, but this is what I was looking for. This is Leviticus chapter 9, verse start at verse 6. And Moses said, "This is the thing which the Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshua commanded that ye should do, and the glory of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshua shall appear upon you." And Moses said unto Aaron, "Go unto the altar and offer thy sin offering." See, and thy burnt offering, and make an atonement for thyself and for the people, and offer the offering of the people and make an atonement for them as the Lord commanded. All right. So there it is right there, man. All right. So it says, look, it basically told Aaron to go into the altar and make a sin offering. All right. So it can be an atonement for himself and for the people. All right. The people were talking about his kindred, his brethren. All right. Now let me go back to Hebrews chapter 7. It says back at verse 27, it says, "Who needed not daily as those high priests to offer up sacrifice," talking about sin offerings, right? It says, "First for his own sins and then for the people's, for this he did once." All right, when he offered up himself. Okay, so now Yahushua is that sacrificial lamb, in which the Passover, that lamb symbolizes Yahushua, man, and we partake of Yahushua. All right. Now let's go back to Matthew chapter 26 real quick, because I want to grab something else. Because not only the lamb is included in the Passover, but it's also the bread and the wine. Okay. Now this verse 26 in Matthew chapter 26. It says, "And as they were eating, Yahushua took bread and blessed it and brake it and gave it to the disciples and said, 'Take, eat. This is my body.'" All right. So in other words, this bread, if you want to break it down, man, that bread is talking about the volume of the book, man. This volume of the book, which is the Bible, is written of Yahushua. Okay. So that bread, once again, represents Yahushua, man. And we partake of Yahushua by delving into the scriptures. All right. That's why the scriptures speak about eating the whole roll. All right. You got to eat the whole thing, man. From Old Testament to New Testament. Okay. And verse 27 saying, "He took the cup and gave thanks and gave it to them, saying, 'Drink ye all of it. All right. For this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many for the remission of sins.'" See, that's that we went into earlier, man, about the sacrifice. All right. So the wine represented his blood of the New Testament, which was shed for us, of the hopeful elect, for the remission of sins, man. Okay. And I mean, you can see that, man, because the Spirit reveals all things, man. All right. Because guess what, man? The Spirit shows you who's who. All right. Because hey, when it comes to the Spirit and dealing in these scriptures, I mean, it tells you that these scriptures are a two-edged sword, man. All right. And they're also a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. All right. So you delving in these scriptures and this resonate with you, then you may just be able to hopefully elect. All right. But I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth of this fruit of the vine until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom. All right. So there it is, man. I mean, it just show you that he drunk wine, man. All right. He drunk wine back then. He's gonna drink it again. You know, for those guys that are saying, "Oh, he never drunk wine. He never drunk, no alcoholic beverage or whatever." No, man, he drunk wine. I mean, you can clearly see it right here. He said he's gonna drink it again when it's new and when he's in his Father's kingdom. Okay. Now, I'm gonna grab Exodus chapter 19. I didn't get a chance to get this. You know what? Yeah, let me read it real quick. It's Exodus chapter 19, verse 3. It says, "And Moses went up to the Most High, and Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai called unto him out of the mountain, saying, Thus shalt thou say to the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel, Ye have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bare you on eagle's wings, and brought you unto myself." All right. And the main reason why I brought this precept out, because this whole sentence right here said, "You have seen what I did unto the Egyptians." All right. So that's all the more reason to fear Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, man. There's all the more reason to keep this Passover a serious assembly, man. All right. Because guess what? He's gonna come and do it again. There's this place was spiritually called Egypt. Now let me grab Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 14. It says, "Therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, that it shall no more be said, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai liveth, that brought out the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt." All right, so it's saying right here, say, "It shall no more be said that the Lord which brought out the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt," right? Verse 15, it says, "But the Lord liveth, that brought out the children of Israel from the land of the north." What's that talking about? What's this place? What is this place called that we're living in today? What's another name for the United States? What's this whole region or continent, should I say? It's North America. Okay. It says from all the lands whither he had driven them, all right, because we were scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, and I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers. So we're going to reclaim the land of Israel. Okay. So there you go, man. So it shall no longer be said, the Lord liveth, that brought us out of the land of Egypt, which that was the first Exodus, right? And he said, well, he'll bring us up out of the land of the north and from all the lands we had driven us. And that's the second Exodus. Okay. See? So there you go. All right. So also I'm gonna grab our next precept. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 27. Before I read this, I just want to point this out that you have guys that partake of the Passover not knowing what it's about or what's going on or how to keep it, as far as keeping it solemn, because scriptures lay out specifically how to keep it, but they don't understand the gravity of the Passover. They don't understand the gravity of the whole ceremony. Okay. Also, too, the ones that that's just playing around, like IUIC, clearly, and other guys as well. That's not a party IUIC that's playing around, just treating it as another party or club. They don't know what's going on, and this is what the scriptures speak about them concerning that. This 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 27. It says, "Wherefore, whosoever shall eat this bread and drink this cup of the Lord unworthily," all right, not being worthy, it's not being meat, okay, "shall be guilty of the body and blood of the Lord." So in other words, you're guilty of him being put on that cross, man. All right. You're guilty of that. Why is that? Because you're the 2/3 number that did that. All right. Now remember what it says in the book of Matthew, where it speaks about let his blood be on us and our children. All right. In other words, hey, you got his blood on your hand. All right. If you partake, so in other words, hey, this is even a trap to the ones that's not worthy, man. All right. See, and that's another thing too about this truth, man. It's a lot of pitfalls to this thing of ours, man. All right, and this is one of them. All right, you partake of that Passover unworthily, then guess what? You're guilty, man. All right, you're guilty of that blood being shed. All right, that's verse 28. It says, "But let a man examine himself, and so let him eat of that bread and drink of that cup." So, in other words, saying, look, examine yourself first, and then if you're full understanding of what's going on, then go ahead and partake of that bread and drink of the cup. Go ahead and partake of the Passover. All right. Now, verse 29 says, "For he that eateth and drinketh unworthily eateth and drinketh damnation to himself." So, in other words, you condemn yourself, man, by doing that. All right. Not discerning the Lord's body. In other words, once again, like I said before, you don't understand the seriousness and the gravity of the ceremony. All right. You don't know what symbolizes what. Okay. That's what it means by not discerning the Lord's body, because you can't discern what's what. You don't know what these things mean. All right. That's part of partaking of the Passover unworthily. Okay. So with that, man, hopefully the Akim will edify with this. I tried to go on my I try to go on my channel and see if it's broadcasting live, but for some weird reason it's not showing up for me. So I'm not sure if it's even being broadcast or what. I'm not too sure. Actually, yes, it is. Okay, con. So it is being broadcasted. All right, and oh yeah, there's the Akim right there. Yeah, I see. All right. So yeah, man. So those of you who are watching, man, like I said, man, Passover is about to come up. Let me type this in real quick. Yeah, Passover about to come up, and just basically, just um, showing, these things that we partake in, what they symbolize, and and like I said before, man, hopefully you edify with this, this shed some light on the reason why we do this, and the reason behind why we have the bread and the wine, the lamb, the bitter herb. Oh yeah, another thing too, the bitter herb. That bitter herb represents that bitterness, man, the bitterness of the captivity that we were in when we were in Egypt. Okay, and guess what? We still partaking of that bitterness right now. Okay, yeah, we're partaking of that bitterness right now because this place, America. If you look at that word America, um, it means bitter. Okay, so when you partake of that bitter herb, then you this is reminding yourself that, look, man, this is the bitterness of the captivity that we're in right now, and the bitterness of the past captivities that we've been in, especially in Egypt. Okay, so remember that when you partake of the bitter herb. Okay, but like I said before, man, hopefully y'all can be edified with this live stream, man, and Lord willing, I'll be back on another day to do another live stream, which will be on another topic, which is administered by Yahweh about Shemel Shai, because this wasn't planned out beforehand, but it's just the spirit got on me to do this video, because I'm pretty sure that there's some Akim out there that's inquiring about the Passover, since the Passover is being pushed right now in this time that we're in right now, especially now being March 7th, which the Passover is coming up. But like I said, man, this is for the edification of the Akim, man. Hopefully y'all were fed with this lesson. I'm just a vessel of Yahweh Shem Shai. So once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Shem Shai. And double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule very well. That's still teaching headstrong, 20 plus years. And much due honors to the Akim that's also doing his work, in all faith and truth and sincerity. And with that, man, I'm gonna say shalom.